A nice river where people went in the summer to swim and fishing.
Anybody own an automobile?
Now, there was only one automobile that was like a commercial. A guy had a taxi that took people if they had to go in emergency out of town. And in town, there were only horse and carriage. If somebody had to come in from the train in town, or if somebody was sick going to the doctor, he took a carriage, horse and carriage. There was no buses in town, only for out town, like out city, from city to city. But mostly they were using horse and carriages.
Were there famous rabbis in
Yes,
Sighet?
yes.
Tell me about
They had,
some of the famous rabbis.
there was a very famous Sighet. He was the chief rabbi for Sighet, very well known. And then there was a Kretchenever Rebbe, who was also very well known. They had big families and very well known. And then, of course, the famous Nobel Prize winner Elie Wiesel is also from Sighet. And I happen to know his parents. They lived not far from my grandparents. And his father owned a little grocery store, and we used to shop there too.
Did you go to summer camps?
No, I didn't. I didn't go. There was summer camps. Some families who had a lot of kids. Usually, every household was 5, 6, or 8, and 10 children. Since I was the only one, my mother didn't allow me to go, but many children went to camps. There were summer camps run by the Jewish community for children to give them a chance.
I come from Rachov. It's a small city. At one time it was a town and it grew to a city. And I come from the Carpathian Mountains, which are the ends of the Alps and the beginning of the Tatras. We actually live in the mountains. All the Jews and my parents and myself, we lived in the valley. We were 7 in the family, 5 children and my parents, 3 boys and 2 girls. I was the youngest. I was born to my parents late in life. We all lived a very happy life, very together, very loved. And my father was a businessman. He dealt with cattle. We had a store which was like a general food store. And by the time the turnover came in 1939, I had a married sister who had 2 children. And I also had a married brother. When I was born, I already had a 20-year-old brother. It means I was born so late in life.
We have a nice synagogue over there in my home. We have 3 synagogues over there. It was a nice community. And we was in the meat business. And I was working with my father. And my father was a young fella when they took him away. He was maybe 58 years. My mother was about 38 years when they took it to Auschwitz.
I was born and we showed the suits. We were a family of 10. It was a very nice town. We were living with our grandfather. We had synagogues. We had Jewish school. I went to Romanian school till when the Hungarian came in. When the Hungarian people came in, they didn't let Jewish kids to go to school.
Well, to describe the school, it was an Orthodox school. The bima, where the cantor or the rabbi was praying, was right in the middle of the room. And the seats were all around the walls. And we used to have services there twice a day during the week. And then we had Friday night services and Saturday services. And usually we used to have a little, like a kiddush, which is like a cocktail party after the services. The mikveh, which they had, is like an indoor pool. And the Orthodox Jewish people believe that if they take a bath there on Friday, they are clean to pray for Saturday. And also, you know, it was used sometimes for women and sometimes for men, never together. It was run by the guy who was the guard or the manager, whatever you call it, on the shul. He used to make sure that the water is clean, and he supplied you with the soap and a towel, and you had to pay a fee for that. And every Friday afternoon, my father used to take us, me and my brother, to this pool. The shul was mostly, most buildings in the town were made out of wood. We had a lot of forest. I come from a part of the country, Carpathia, where it was mostly 90% forest, and we had plenty of wood, and it was cheaper to build houses with wood than with brick or whatever. And so the shul was wooden building, wooden roof, and there was no toilets like you know, we have today, flushing toilets. It was outhouses. So we had an outhouse for women, outhouse for men, and around the shul. And the guy who took care of the shul usually made sure that we had some flowers around the shul and some shrubbery, and to make it a little nice and clean looking and appetizing, so people will come. We did not have a hospital in town, so we had midwives who used to come over to the house and help deliver the baby. So I would say most babies were born in the house. You know, they didn't have any nurses or that stuff. It was kind of, you know, primitive. The midwife was making sure that everything is clean, and she was, you know, she practiced that stuff, and she knew what she was doing. It was just like having a baby in the hospital. We were like a close family, the whole community. And if there was anything to be helped, everybody, you know, chipped in to help. We were very family-oriented. We got together every Saturday. After you know, we went to the temple, and after we had dinner, we used to go out for a walk down near the river, and we used to meet cousins from other towns, from nearby towns. They used to come down to the river too. That was almost, I would say, every Saturday afternoon. And this was like a ritual to find all the, you know, to see all the relatives and talk over things, you know, from the week, what happened.